In December, pending home sales fell 5.5% from a month prior after 4 straight months of increases. All 4 U.S. regions saw activity fall month over month, with the West Coast experiencing the most significant fall. Here with what it all means for the housing market, we've got Chen Zhao, who is the Redfin Head of Economic Research. Chen, great to have you here with us. I just want to get your reaction to this morning's number.
Hi, thanks so much for having me today. Yes, so pending sales did fall in December. Redfin also has a measure of pending sales that we released about 2 weeks ago, and that showed that pending sales in December was declined about 4.5% relative to November. By all measures, it seems that towards the end of 2024, housing market activity really slowed, and we're seeing that continue into the new year. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that rates really started increasing in November and then through December, as the Fed made it really clear that they were pausing rate hikes.
Now, Redfin found that the typical home is taking nearly 2 months to sell. That's the slowest pace in 5 years, and that would point to what some would call or summarize as kind of stale listings within the market. What's behind that lag?
So what we're seeing right now is this very interesting dynamic playing out in the housing market, where it is both the case that we don't have a lot of new listings, and when new listings come on, a lot of times, those that are especially priced right actually are snatched up really quickly, and it can be competitive. In some cases, you might even see bidding wars for some of those homes. But at the same time, homes that maybe are priced a little bit high or maybe not quite move-in ready, what you're seeing is that they are sitting on the market for a long time. So you're kind of seeing this really interesting dynamic playing out.
And so, is there hope on the horizon for an end to the sluggishness that we've seen in activity?
I think that the housing market is likely to remain fairly sluggish in the near term. However, there's really a lot of uncertainty this year, and a lot of this uncertainty really stems from, policies around tariffs or around, the government deficit, and a lot of these issues that really drive mortgage rates, whether they go up or down. And so really, depending on where we land on these issues, I think if we do see a little bit of relief in mortgage rates, we could see a decent amount of pickup in the housing market.
We've heard President Trump talk about bringing down mortgage rates and spurring the housing market. Is there anything within the president's realm that he can do to ultimately bring those results?
I think right now, if you're looking at what is keeping mortgage rates really high, I think there's a few fundamental factors. One is that the economy is strong, right? The labor market is very strong, and that's ultimately good news for American households. But that's also keeping the Fed from continuing to cut their policy rate, because inflation is sort of stuck just a little bit above their target rate of 2%, and the economy is not really showing any weakness, so they don't feel any need to be in a hurry to cut. And then in addition to that, what you also see is that there's a lot of uncertainty and fear about tariffs and what that could mean, especially for inflation. And so I think one thing that, is very much tied to the administration's policies that could make a difference for mortgage rates in particular is where we land on these tariff policies at the end of the day.
Chen, thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, so last month started a little slow. It was down 5.5%. So hopefully, by January and the year going along, we hopefully see the housing market go better. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take?
Yeah, so here's coming from Realtor.com. Depending on the home sale, falling by 5.5% in December. However, compared to 1 month ago, pending sale declined in all the U.S. region within the West, according to the law. According to the law is just dropped. I think everybody already know what happened in the West. The California fire. A lot of stuff that's going on right now within the West. So right now, there's a lot of homes that are available in the market. It's just people are not buying homes because it's based on the area, pretty much based on the area and also the region. Majority of the time, people majority of the time people don't like to deal with the snow, the fires, the tornadoes, or the earthquakes. They like to go to some place that's very pleasant, that's very peaceful. But the places that are very peaceful, there's no homes available. Year over year, contract signing retreating all U.S. region within the Midwest, showing a large reduction, which was showing the largest reduction. So there are homes that are all available in the Midwest and also in the West, but people don't want to move there, especially right now with the LA wildfire. People people just not they stay away from that as much as possible. But I'm just curious on like what area are people mainly focused on. I know people are always focused on Florida, especially Texas, Georgia, those type of areas, South Carolina, North Carolina. But I just want to. I'm just interested in this year because I'm someone who is looking to purchase a home. I'm just trying to see, okay, where the other regions that people are looking at, so I can keep my eye on those type of regions. Go right ahead, Hakeem.
So like it's not uncommon for a lot of people here. Y'all see when inflation and housing prices is. Lots of times, mortgage rates are also linked to rent. If you see the rent going up sometime, you know the mortgage is going up. If you go to a block and you see there's more houses for sale, but there's no buyers, then you know we're heading into some tragedy. So just like in particular where I go, I see a lot of houses are being for sale, but nobody is not trying to buy. So now when we didn't have an abundance market for sale, but now we're doing because the rates are so high and a lot of people can't afford their home. So best thing to do is to sit back and wait and prepare, weather the storm out, save your money, weather the storm, get your credit together. And after this, you'll be able to pick up a good deal.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I remember there was an area me and my wife just lived in when we first moved to LA, and I believe like a couple weeks ago, I was in the area and I drove around the area and everything, and I saw there was a lot of places like places around there, not really much houses, but like stores and stuff, where it's like was up on lease and everything, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So they must like be really raising up the prices on rent and everything. So. And I'm curious. It's like maybe next year or two, what's going to happen there. And my being saying that is, when it comes to for the people know that they might go to work, drive around and everything. If I was if we people you guys like if there's a certain area you might used to live in or you want to move in, just really look around and look at the areas that you see that where they're building houses, where people are buying that. Not necessarily in the city. Go out to the outskirts, some place that might be an hour and a half away from you, 45 minutes away from you, and see why is people are moving out in the area or why is people moving into this area. And the thing is, it's like you really don't have to look at the news. You can just literally go out, drive, and just look at the area and see where people are really migrating at. Either they buying or they leaving, and it's real simple. And it will, and like I said, and it kind of tells you of an area that you want to move in. It's like, is this the best place for you as a single person or somebody that's in a relationship, marriage with kids and everything? Is this the right place for you to live in at this time that we're in right now? So yeah, it's important to to like I say, do your research.